What's going on, all you wild imposters out there? It's your two favorite superhero uncles back here for Cinephellas. I am Captain Logan Myers. That's my good and beautiful mate over there.
And I'm the Falcon, Henry Hill. What's going on, everybody? We've got another Marvel movie to review for you. We just reviewed Thunderbolts, the final film in Phase 5, just hit theaters. Captain America Brave New World was the one that came out before that. And it stars Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson taking over the reins of Captain America from old Chris Evans. And this time giving him his own movie and showing us a character that we've seen before in the Marvel Universe, General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, this time played by Harrison Ford. That's right, Harrison Ford playing now President of the United States, Thaddeus Ross. And that's right, we are talking about Captain America, Brave New World.
Since when were they red?
You want me? Come and get me!
It's been out, since February, came out. Chapter in the MCU and a lifeless drag of a movie that it is, reintroducing Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson, taking over for Steve Rogers, of course. This movie has to do with him and his buddy Joaquin, played by Daniel Ramirez, and having to do with U.S. politics and the government. Of course, as you were saying, Thaddeus Ross, played by Harrison Ford, the grumpy Harrison Ford, as the commander in chief here, the president, that would eventually get too angry and turn into the Red Hulk.
I'm already exhausted by the mention of U.S. politics, sport. I'm out of here.
This
That's
is
probably
based on
where,
real life.
yeah, no kidding. Everybody's exhausted and looking to talk about other things. But, anyways, yes, Captain America Brave New World definitely has political tones in this movie, and really has to do with adamantium, which you might remember is what is in old Wolverine's claws there. So, definitely some hints at joining. That's seems like Marvel's been a big tease for the X-Men this past couple of years. It's like, come on already, give us something. Well, they finally did give us something, bringing back Hugh Jackman, but we still want to know what they're going to do with the X-Men here. Are we going to get an all new, or are we going to bring back the old? It seems like they're going back old. I don't know what's happening here, but they keep throwing these little hints here. And for whatever reason, in a Captain America movie, that's where we get our latest hint. But anyways, yes, this movie definitely going back all the way back to the Incredible Hulk movie, and a character that was previously introduced in that, Samuel Stearns, known as the leader, the villain in this film here, in the shadows here, um, plotting all this stuff in the background to happen, and having to deal with Harrison Ford's character, Thaddeus Ross, being the president, him having to, avert a crisis happening and having to rely on Sam Wilson's Captain America to come in and stop basically another world war from happening between U.S. and Japan. There's some cool scenes, some cool action scenes, which is what you want to see from this movie, but really not a lot more. There's really wasn't a lot to this plot. It was very paper thin, and I think that was a big problem in this movie. It's kind of like they marketed what they had in this film, what was going to bring audiences in, and all it was a 10-minute Red Hulk scene at the end of the film.
Talk about a major letdown. I was waiting for Red Hulk about, at least an hour into the movie. All we get is the last 10, 15 minutes, and that was so silly because this movie is lifeless and hollow from start to finish. The best part of the movie is adamantium and how that's going to tie into the future, as we know, of course, X-Men, Wolverine, more importantly here. And really, that's it. Outside of that, Anthony Mackie is Anthony Mackie. So his buddy's the new Falcon. Of course, they're introducing a character, I think it was from the TV show, Winter Soldier and Falcon, older Captain America, essentially. I liked his character a lot. But this is all politics, U.S. government, war, stuff like that we've seen over and over again. Just nothing
Yeah.
was really drew me into this film. Really, just the directing, the writing, all across the board. Going to see Thunderbolts and then watching this afterwards, it's like awesome to just really shitty. And that's how I felt with the Captain America Brave New World. I probably stopped it about 6 times because it just was not holding my interest at all. Looking at my watch, my phone, never a good sign here. And a movie I'm glad I missed at the cinema because, the teaser trailer I saw of this looked pretty unimpressive. And that's how I felt with the 2 hour runtime of this movie. I would say it's cool, like some older characters returning from some early Marvel movies, Incredible Hulk. But outside of that, just not much of this film. And the CGI was awful, a huge mess. It looked like filmed on a huge green screen. It was not impressive. It looked half-assed and sloppy.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie was supposed to come out earlier. I think they had to do some reshoots on it and focus more on Red Hulk. So I can't imagine it being much worse, but apparently the first drafts and things that they shot weren't that great. So I can only imagine how bad it was there. Yeah, this is really very blah and meh Marvel. This is about as bland and generic as it comes. Had a few cool parts, exciting parts. I like the whole flying scene where they're out on like the USS, whatever, out in the ocean, the big battleship. And there were some cool scenes with some planes, reminding me of like some Top Gun Maverick kind of
Yeah.
action with Captain America. That was probably the best part of it. Red Hulk, like you mentioned, yeah, the CGI just, oh, it didn't look very good at all. And Harrison Ford, just him playing the kind of same kind of character he's played before, obviously playing the president, obviously multiple times before. Air Force One, of course, coming to mind. Um, you know, cool to see some older characters, like you mentioned, come back. Liv Tyler returns eventually to be reunited with her dad, who in the first and Incredible Hulk was played by William Hurt, I believe. William
Yep.
Hurt. Yeah, I don't really have too much to offer in this one. That's about what the movie gave me and what I can give it in return. Not much to talk about in this movie. One thing I can mention is Gus Fring himself has a little small part in this movie. It was cool seeing him in this universe, but yeah, even his villain was pretty shitty. I remember a serpent there. Okay. I remember they teased him being a character in Marvel. So I was like, what could it be? There wasn't much to his character at all. It's kind of shitty too. Man, this really wasn't enjoyable. Thunderbolts way better. This is kind of middle to one of the bad Marvel films for me. And I can see why it didn't do too well at the box office. One weekend didn't do too well, and then it just completely fell out and was on digital less than a month later. So, not a good sign for Marvel.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I was not impressed with this. I'm not going to go over it anymore. A movie you can definitely watch at home in the background and still understand what's going on because there's not much given to you in this film. Totally fail, flop here. If you're looking for a good Marvel movie to see at the cinema, go see Thunderbolts. Way better time, way better movie all around. And this one is already forgettable, and I forgot about most of it at this point. So a movie I'll definitely not rewatch again. So that being said, I'm gonna give Captain America: Brave New World. I'm gonna give it a 1.5 out of 5. Woo! Danny Ramirez hairpieces.
That was a bad one, huh? A stinker, you could say. Well, we
Maybe I'm
don't.
being too harsh. I don't know, but that's me right now.
I'll be a little nicer. I'm going to give this a 50-50 shot. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5 Harrison Ford hair pieces.
Much as I love Harrison Ford's older roles, not so much anymore. He's just an old grumpy man collecting a paycheck, and it shows as the president in this movie. He didn't really offer
Uh,
it too much and didn't look like he was having fun at all, like most of the cast. So we're interested in hearing all your guys' thoughts out there about Captain America: Brave New World. Were we too harsh? Did you enjoy it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to stab, subscribe. Also, check out these supervillains on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for the latest, greatest TV and movie news and reviews.
let's hope the Russo brothers can fix this character and juggle all the Marvel characters that are going to be in Doomsday and Secret Wars because they really have their work ahead of them. They nailed it with Infinity War and Endgame. Let's hope
Yeah.
they can work their magic on this one. This one they're gonna be up against it. I mean, we don't have the same characters as the, first Avengers movies. They have Robert Downey Jr. and then maybe that's their ace up their sleeve, but they're going to have to really find these characters and really give them a lot. We're going to have to care about Sam Wilson, like we mentioned, there wasn't a lot in this movie. I mean, he's okay, but Captain America is like the symbol. He's one of the top Avengers. You got to really care about him, and his character Sam Wilson's tasked with finding like the new set of Avengers moving forward. So it's a really important character. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to do that. We hope so. We're wishing him luck. We're excited after Thunderbolts. So definitely check Thunderbolts out. And thank you guys for watching our review of the new Captain America film, Brave New World. And until our next Cinephellas movie review, I am Uncle Henry Wilson.
And I'm Thaddeus Ross signing out from the White House here till the next movie review. Cheers!
Cheers!